Hi, everyone. This is Rachel, Oracle spiritual healer and teacher. And today they wanted me to share information about what it's like when you're not in your body, aka not being grounded or embodied. So, fully present in your physical vessel, which is embodiment. And just FYI, most of us aren't, or are to certain levels. So, what does it mean when we're out of our body? Well, the best way to sort of describe this is you can say different symptoms or experiences that you have typically. So, one of the first things that comes into my awareness around this is your eating patterns will be off, where you can forget to eat. Or you just don't eat. You're just not hungry. And that where you would typically be hungry, like, it's been 8 hours, 12 hours since you've eaten. Most people would be hungry. Most people's bodies would want something to eat. But if you're not in your body, then there's no connection there between knowing or feeling that your body actually is hungry, not your mind, but your body, and that your body needs to be fed. Your physical body needs to be fed. Another symptom of being out of your body is not feeling parts of your body. And what I mean by that is maybe not feeling your toes or your feet, especially, or like the lower parts of your legs. And what do I mean by that? Like there's different levels of feeling or different depths of feeling. And it's almost like feeling the outline or the surface, but not really having a sense beyond that. Or you might really feel maybe this part of your body beyond just the surface, but your lower body, you're not so, the sensation's not so strong. And this is very typical because people who are out of their bodies, often their energy is sitting higher so that they have more sensation maybe in their head and in their chest, but not so much sensation in their lower half of the body. Another thing that happens to people who are typically not in their bodies is that they can get sick. And this sick, it can come in many ways, whether it's digestive or neurological, or there's many manifestations that it can take. It's not just one sort of sickness, but that you could be having many sorts of health issues, and not totally present in the brain, whether it's memory, can't focus. I find that in a lot of older people who aren't in their bodies that maybe are starting their transition, where they're not fully present in their mind just because they're not fully in their bodies. So that's another aspect that can take place when we're not fully there. We can tend to hurt ourselves, like get injured. And again, that's because we don't have sensation fully in our physical vessel. So if we're not experiencing sensation fully, and we can't feel ourselves fully, and we don't always know where we're putting our foot or our arm or things like that, then injury can happen because we're just not aware fully of what's going on in our body, where it is in space in relationship to other things. So that's another sort of symptom that can happen when you're out of your body. What else? There's a heightening of anxiety when we're out of our body. There's a heightening of worry when we're out of our body. we become more disconnected. And what I mean by that is, obviously, if our energy's higher up, we're not so connected to the earth. We're not so connected to our physical body, but we also, our connections to other people diminish. Our connections to the world around us diminish because, again, we're not fully present. We're not fully in. So we can't be as aware. We can't be as connected. What we can connect to are things more in the spiritual realm. That's where we can find more of that sense of connection. But in this physical realm, our connections start to diminish when we get out of our bodies. Okay, what else? Let's see if there's some other aspects or characteristics that take place. Yes, one thing that happens to me sometimes, especially when I'm doing a lot of channeled writing, is my eyesight will go away. So, along with the sickness and the injury, is that your body can just start to shut down. It just stops working the way it's supposed to, which obviously isn't good and can lead to sickness and injury. So that's another aspect. Mm-hmm. And it's a general sort of spaciness where it's hard to keep a schedule. You maybe aren't so reliable or dependable. And this is more of an extreme case where you spend a lot of time out of your body and are already very unaware and present to begin with. And what I mean by that is people who are usually on the spiritual path can kind of go in and out, right? They have some sense of what it feels like to be, more out in space and what it feels like to be more back in their body and more present on earth. More so than the person who's not on some sort of spiritual path. Or doing some sort of practices, whether they be spiritual, physical, metaphysical, in that they have the tools and the sense of knowing and being aware of the difference. So for people who are maybe, an accountant or a lawyer or have more typical sorts of contributions to the world, it can be more of a slippery slope because there's even less awareness than those who are in some sort of physical practice, are in some sort of spiritual practice, are in some sort of metaphysical realm where it opens them up. So the cure for that, for being out of our bodies, is to come back in. It's to, first of all, become aware of those symptoms. Secondly, to take action to do things differently than you do. So if you're feeling yourself get out of your body, to come back in. If you're noticing you're not eating, to eat. If you're not sleeping, stopping what you're doing and rest. If your connections with people are diminishing, again, stopping and consciously connecting with people, consciously connecting with the earth, sending your energy down. And I'll do a separate video about grounding specifically and moving your energy and connecting with the earth and harnessing your energy back into self to complement this video. But for now, that's what it's like being out of your body.